Hello, and welcome back to another school year here in San Bernardino City Unified. My name is Susie Kydell. I'm the Assistant Director of Accountability and Ed Tech. And I'm here today to present the first of three in a series around the work of data analysis and how to support your school site to be the very best it can be as your teachers and your staff are collaborating around the work. So the purpose of this screen flow is to talk about what you do as you prepare. So this is some of the basics in terms of getting ready for the work. So in preparing for the work, one of the things to consider is you want to think about what it is that you expect, and then you want to be the model of best practices. So you model what you expect and you inspect what you expect. So you really have to kind of reflect on what are your priorities, what is your outcome, and then how can you model that with your staff. Also, as you're preparing, you want to think about some of the very basic pieces that we have established in our district, and that starts with meeting protocols. And one of those great tools that we have are our Speed of Trust and our Basics for Excellence tools. And so one of the ideas that's been helpful for me in my work is to connect those documents to the work being completed. So the example I provided here might be a prompt that you could use with your staff. So in working with a new team, what speed of trust or basics for excellence will you need to consider when developing a positive working team? So this would be maybe something designed at the beginning of the year as you've got new teams being established, or if there's been any changes to teams. Also, one of the things, just a tip, is invest in those reusable copies of the 13 Speed of Trust and Basics for Excellence. Our printing services department is great with that. They can help you with that, and you have laminated, nice copies that can be available for every meeting. As you continue to prepare for work, you also want to consider creating a culture of celebration. This really speaks to making those relational connections with your staff. And one of the pieces that was modeled for me and I've been able to take away to my work that I do now is by creating that culture of celebration, we can create both academic and personal celebrations. So providing teachers and staff an opportunity to talk with each other first about what's going on positive on the academic side of things or on the school work side of things, and then also on the personal side. So allowing them to make those connections. And then, of course, you just make time for a few of those to be shared so that the rest of the staff or the team can be celebrating along with those individuals. Also, you want to think about training yourself. So oftentimes when we have a new piece, and the example I'll use is the data protocols, is you really want to learn the process first. And some of your best co-learners in that work are your leadership team. So you've designed a team of some of the strongest team members that you have on your staff and some of the really stronger, more effective employees. So they're a great team to use as sort of your trial run and train them as you train yourself. So you can do a practice session with the team that's going to lead the work. So you've got a third grade lead or your math department chair. Use those groups of individuals to really help practice what you're going to be expecting from the rest of the staff. This is also where you can set expectations. So if you expect a written product from them, then you would clearly identify that as an expectation when they're leading the work. If you expect them to use the basics for excellence in their conversation as they start off the work, this would be the place where you would communicate that. Also, you want to really assess who will be doing the work. Oftentimes in a large staff or even in a small staff, you have varying levels of ability and experience and expertise. So you might have a new team that maybe hasn't had a lot of leadership experience. You may have a veteran teacher who maybe is set in their ways. You may have a highly trained teacher that maybe could really be serving as a pseudo facilitator for some of the work to allow you free to go to other places where you might be needed more. So you want to think about their leadership skills and then what support will be needed and who can provide it. So oftentimes, if you're at an elementary site, you're the sole administrator on that campus. However, you're in the process of training up other staff members, whether you have a support teacher or a program specialist, or a program facilitator, or maybe you've got just a lead teacher But think about who else you can use to help really support that work and be a partner in the work for you. Because it's very difficult when you're a single administrator to be in multiple areas at the same time. So you also may consider, is this work that we need to do all together, where we have separated tables by grade level or department? So you have to make those decisions before you get yourself into that room. So once you've done these things, you are ready for the next step, which is actually doing the work and leading it with your staff. And that'll be the focus of the next set in this series, which is the second video in this process.